let's talk about something you might not think about every day: the price of a gallon of diesel fuel. You see, that one price is directly connected to the cost of, well, pretty much everything you buy. What's happening right now at America's truck stops is sending a shockwave through the whole economy, and it's heading straight for your wallet.
So, take a look at this number, $5.19. Now, that's not just a number on a sign at some truck stop in Maryland. No, it's the beginning of a story. A story about a whole lot of pressure, some really tough choices, and a chain reaction that's really just getting started. For the people who drive our country's supply chain, this number is a daily gut punch.
And you don't have to guess how they feel. That's the reality, straight from a truck driver named Enoch Jones. They're killing us. And you know what? He's not alone. That's a feeling being echoed all across the country, as drivers just watch those numbers on the pump tick higher and higher, squeezing their livelihoods with every single gallon.
So, let's start right where the pain is felt first. Let's talk about the shock at the pump. This is the raw, day-to-day reality for drivers who are facing these prices head-on.
I mean, that was one driver's actual reaction when he saw the price sign. Oh, brother, it's so simple, but it just perfectly captures that feeling of disbelief and total exhaustion. It's what you hear over and over at truck stops. You just hear them asking, when is it going to go down?
And here's the really crazy part: the sheer speed of this increase. We're not talking about some slow creep over months. Drivers are saying it's costing them hundreds of dollars more to fill up their tanks this week than it did last week. Think about that. That's a huge jump in their operating costs, and it feels like it happened overnight.
And this just shows you how volatile things are. The prices aren't just changing day to day anymore, they're changing hour to hour. Get this, one driver at the Maryland House Travel Plaza, he filled up his truck at $5.09 a gallon. He went inside to grab some lunch, came back out, and the price had jumped 10 cents to $5.19. In the time it took him to eat, he said his jaw was on the pavement.
So, when you're facing that kind of chaos, how do you even manage? Well, that brings us to what we're calling the trucker's squeeze. All the difficult, sometimes desperate adjustments they're being forced to make just to stay afloat.
And the strategies they're using, it's a mix of defense and, honestly, desperation. Some drivers are constantly topping off their tanks, just trying to get ahead of whatever the next price hike is. Others are completely changing their routes, burning extra time and miles just to hunt for cheaper fuel. And with prices swinging 50 cents or more from one state to the next, can you really blame them? The result, for some, is they just have to slow down. They're forced to take fewer jobs because the math just doesn't work anymore.
This quote, man, it just gets right to the heart of it. This isn't just a number on a spreadsheet. For the truckers who are literally the backbone of our economy, this financial burden becomes this heavy, personal weight that they have to carry around with them every single day.
Okay, so this is where the story gets a lot bigger than just the folks behind the wheel. Because that weight, that pressure, it doesn't just stay with the truckers. It ripples out, and it's heading directly for you. You see, it all comes down to a core economic idea called the ripple effect. Global trade is just incredibly interconnected. So when you get a price shock in one essential area, like crude oil, it doesn't stay there. It sends waves through the entire system. Let's just trace how this chain reaction works. It's not just one thing, it's more like a perfect storm. You've got geopolitical tensions making the oil market nervous, you've got a huge surge in demand after the pandemic, and at the same time, there isn't enough refinery capacity to turn crude oil into diesel fast enough. All of that together makes crude oil prices spike. And when that happens, it suddenly costs more to move anything, anywhere in the world, and those higher shipping costs, they get baked right into the final price of everything.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Here's economist Dr. Abby Hall spelling it out.
It's a direct, you might say, unavoidable connection. The cost to ship everything from your new couch to your groceries goes up simply because the fuel that powers the trucks, ships, and planes cost more.
So, what's the bottom line for you and me? It's pretty straightforward. The stuff that truck drivers deliver to our stores every single day, it's all going to get more expensive. Your budget is going to get squeezed tighter. That, right there, is the end of the chain reaction.
Which of course leads to the big, looming question. With costs going through the roof and profits vanishing, how long can this pressure keep building before something breaks?
You know, this is the question truckers are asking themselves every single time they pull up to the pump. Is there a number, a price per gallon that just makes it impossible to keep going? What is that breaking point?
And when you actually ask the drivers on the ground, the answer you get is, well, it's pretty chilling. For many of them, We're not approaching a breaking point. We are there. The current prices are already too high. They're already unsustainable.
And this is the ultimate danger here. The financial pressure is getting so bad that some drivers might just decide it's not worth it anymore. They'll park their trucks for good, hang up their keys, and if that starts happening on a large scale, our entire supply chain could face a real crisis.
So, we'll end with this thought. The burden on these truckers is massive, and it's growing by the day. But the final cost of all this won't be paid by them alone. The real question is, as they carry this weight, what is the final price that all of us will have to pay?